Peace everyone, my name is Ifa Kunle, and what's going on right now is that me and my wife are going to answer one of the many questions that we received at the Enter the Womb conference that we were unable to answer because we had to depart early. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to answer these questions until we have answered all of them. So the question that I will be answering right now is, how does the breath improve and meditation improve our relationships?
That's right.
Okay. The breath improves relationships because when one is breathing deeply and rhythmically, as we should be, and let me start by saying this, that the average person breathes 18 breaths a minute. And this is a person that's unaware of their breathing at all. They're just breathing, you know what I mean, totally on a subconscious level pretty much. They are not in control of their breath at all. So they are breathing 18 breaths a minute. And historically, this breath is known as the beast breath. And why? The reason why this breath is known as the beast breath, because 18 breaths a minute only makes one aware of the physical aspects of themselves and their physical desires and their physical impulses. You know what I mean? They are not aware of themselves on any other level because of the rhythm of that breath, that 18 breaths a minute. That puts one in body consciousness. So on that level, if a person is breathing with that 18 breaths a minute, then they're only going to see their mate from the physical aspect of themselves. But we all know that we are multidimensional women. I mean, people, human beings. And women, they are more emotional creatures, to say, you know what I mean, or beings, emotional beings. So if a man is, let's say me as a man, if I'm only aware of my woman on that physical level because of me breathing at 18 breaths a minute, and that's all I'm aware of, how am I going to satisfy her on that next level of herself? And so the breath, breathing deeply, and remember, or let me say that the breath is the breath of life. So the more that one is aware of their breath, and the more that one is fully taking this breath within their being, the more they are beginning to live, or the more they become aware of themselves. So if you're breathing shallow, then you're only aware of yourself from a shallow aspect. Then you're only partly aware of yourself. So how can you be fully aware or fully commit yourself to anybody when you're only partly aware of who you are? So the more, as we learn to fully bring that breath into our being, the more we become aware of ourselves, and the more we begin to live, and the more we begin to experience ourselves beyond the physical aspect of ourselves, and the more that we can begin to tap into our mate on deeper levels. And this is how this improves relationships. Because the goal of any relationship, and this is how I view my relationship with my queen, is that I want to experience the divinity in her, not just the physical aspect of her. I want to experience the divinity in her. But how can I experience that if I'm not even aware of the divinity in myself? And so before I can begin to experience her on any deeper level at all, I got to know how to experience my own self on deeper levels. And so as I begin and as I master this breath in my relationship, I'm going to be able to give you more of the divinity aspect of who I am. You know what I mean? I'm going to be able to share. I am going to be able to share the divinity in me with you. Like, you know what I mean? The aspects of myself that are not seen with the physical eye, the hidden aspect of myself, the spiritual aspects of myself, the godly, or, you know what I mean, aspects of who I am. This is what the breath allows. Yeah. It's for you to experience yourself on those levels. And this is what makes the relationship more intimate. Yeah. And this is what makes the relationship more fulfilling. And that's how we experience relationships on higher levels other than the low levels, the sexual levels. And what women got to understand is that most men, like, and I'm speaking from a man aspect, is that whenever we don't know ourselves at higher levels other than this physical level, then that's the only way that we're going to, you know what I mean, the only view that we have of you. And so once we get that feel of you, you know what I mean, once we quench that thirst of that physical perception that we have of you, then we on to the next one. And so this is how the breath is key. It allows me as a man to know myself as more than just a mere man. It allows me to know myself as a divinity, and it allows me to become that divinity. And so I'm able to treat you from that divine aspect of myself. And this is what makes the relationship more intimate. This is what makes the relationship more fulfilling and enlightening. And so this is why the breath is the key, and this is why meditation is the key, because meditation allows one to go within themselves to know who they actually are. So if you don't know who you are, if I don't know who I am, how am I supposed to treat you as who you truly are? Because I don't know who I truly am. And this is why meditation is the key, because meditation reveals to one who they truly are. And this is the key. Before you can know someone else, you must know yourself. Before you can love someone else, you must love yourself. Before you can treat someone else with love, honor, respect, and all of those great attributes, you must know them within your own being. And this is why meditation is the key. And this is why the breath is the key, because the breath is the foundation of meditation. Because the breath is what allows one to go within themselves. Most people, when they say, well, it's hard for me to meditate because when I sit, my mind be racing, I don't know how to stop that. It's the breath that causes the mind to subside. The breath does. Because the more you breathe deeply and rhythmically, the more the breath settles. The more the mind settles. All that chatter in the mind, it begins to settle. Like the water, like ripples in the water that eventually become still. Now you can see your clear reflection in the water. The breath is what causes the mind to still, like water, so you can see the true reflection of who you actually are. And remember, until you are aware of who you actually are, you will never be able to be in any relationship that you are in, or that anyone is in with you, is going to be an unfulfilling one, because you're not truly able to give them all of who you are, because you haven't become aware of that yourself. And this is why the breath and meditation is the key. I'm not going to be too long-winded, but I did want to get that short answer. Peace and love.